Okay, everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a music compass, so I thought I would revisit it. This one is going to be a lot of fun, I think, because we all know that the way to evaluate music has nothing to do with the music itself. Like, if you're judging music based on the sound of the music coming out your speakers, you've totally missed the plot. The way that you evaluate music is by judging the fans. I mean, come on. Seriously, who listens to music in the year 2024? The way you form your opinions about music is by judging the fans, and so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the dumbass music compass, and the way that we're going to judge this is on two axes. The first is whether the music itself is smart or dumb, meaning, do they have intelligent lyrics? Is the composition sophisticated? Is it smart or dumb in musical terms? And then, of course, more importantly, are the fans smart or dumb? That's how we're going to look at this. And so, warning, everybody, warning, this content contains jokes. If you're not ready to hear some jokes, if you are sensitive to anal pain, I would suggest that you apply some of Finn's butt balm right now to make sure that your butt does not get hurt. I'm going to do my very best to avoid hurting any butts today, but I can't make any promises. It's all for laughs. So if you don't want to laugh, if your butt is sore, then maybe just sit this one out. And also, I wanted to mention something new that I'm doing, which is a YouTube coaching program. If you're an individual creator or you're a company, really anybody that wants to grow on YouTube, this is for you. Basically, this is a way to download everything that I have learned about YouTube over the past 7 years from my brain into yours. There's a pretty common set of challenges that pretty much everybody runs into on YouTube. I've run into pretty much all of them. And with this coaching program, I can help you get past those a lot faster than I did figuring it out on my own. For example, in my opinion, the single most important thing for any channel is figuring out the right niche for your content. Like, what should you focus on and how do you talk about it? For example, for me on this channel, once I found that, I went from getting, a couple hundred views a video to tens of thousands of views per video, literally almost overnight. You can see it right here. And also the right approach to things like titles and thumbnails and how to structure your videos to keep people's attention. All that stuff that took me years to figure out on my own through trial and error. I just want to help you speed run all of that. I am super excited about this, and I'm going to be putting a lot of time and energy into it over the course of the year. And if you want to find out more about it, you can just hit the link in the description of this video. So the first one, I had to think about this one quite a bit. Let's start with something kind of obvious, okay? We'll start with something obvious. Which is, of course, we all know the first band that we've got to look at here, obviously, is Tool. Obviously, it's Tool. So the question is, where do they belong? Well, MFers, as Dana White would say. I actually think that Tool is pretty smart music. I actually do. I made a whole video about this, and legitimately, I think that there's a lot of pretty sophisticated stuff in their music. And I mean, like, in terms of, like, not just the music itself. Obviously, there's the Fibonacci sequence, all that kind of crap, blah, blah, blah. But, the lyrics themselves are pretty smart. A lot of people may write off Tool just because they have, like, 17 songs about dicks and jerking off. People may write Tool off as like fake deep, but I actually think they're legitimately deep. They legitimately have some pretty good lyrics, and the music itself is obviously, very complex. So I would say the music, we got to say that it's pretty smart. Now, how about their fans? Well, the fans, that's another story. That's another story. I have a theory that Maynard hates Tool fans more than anybody else on this planet. That's what I think. So I think Tool is sort of the epitome of this. Smart music and very, very, very dumb fans. It's like Tool is music for people who are like the human embodiment of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which the Dunning-Kruger effect is basically this idea that the smarter you think you are, the dumber you actually are. It's not actually that simple, but that's sort of, you can think of it that way. So Tool is for the kind of guy that has a GED, doesn't have a driver's license, wears Velcro shoes because he never learned how to tie his shoes, and works at McDonald's, and yet somehow, because he's memorized all these Tool lyrics and he's looked up all the lore on Wikipedia, he somehow thinks that he's like an off the charts, like, some sort of misunderstood genius. No, my friend, you are not a misunderstood genius. You are just a guy with a GED that works at McDonald's and has to buy Velcro shoes because you don't know how to tie your shoes. That's the Tool fan. So I think we could almost just end the video right here, because there is perhaps no stronger contrast between smart music and dumb fans than Tool. I think that's it. Now, that's an obvious one. Let's look at something that's maybe not quite so obvious. Let's look at a band that I think is actually highly misunderstood. And I say this not just because I have made lots and lots and lots of money talking about Limp Bizkit, although I have made lots and lots of money talking about Limp Bizkit. And I want to thank everyone who's watched my many videos about Limp Bizkit. And I want to thank Fred Durst for allowing me to make so much money talking about his band. Thank you, Fred. I'm genuinely grateful. You know, all those like bottom feeding fish that just eat all like the dead shit that like floats down from the top of the ocean to just like the decaying matter at the bottom of the ocean. That's me. Except I am eating all the scraps of Fred Durst's life. That's me. Now, you might think that Limp Bizkit is dumb. I don't think they're dumb. I actually think that Limp Bizkit is actually smart because Fred Durst knew exactly what he was doing the entire time. Fred Durst is an example of a very calculating, smart guy playing the role of a dipshit and riding that wave all the way to becoming a multi-millionaire and smashing prime Britney Spears and potentially smashing prime Christina Aguilera. I don't think so. I think he tried to smash. I don't think he actually pulled it off. But the fact that he even found himself in the same room as prime ex-Tina, to me, I say respect. Yeah, Fred Durst is a grifter for stupid people. That's what I think it is. I think if you listen to a Fred Durst interview, he's like obviously a very intelligent guy. Wes Borland, also a very intelligent, self-aware guy. Yeah, the Paris Hilton of nu metal, exactly. Yeah, Fred Durst purposely acted dumb as a marketing strategy. I think that's exactly what it is. I think he's a sharp dude, and everyone in the band also an extremely good musician. So I say that Limp Bizkit actually is very smart music. That's what I think. I think the fans perhaps not so smart. Believe it or not, I would put Limp Bizkit in the same category as Tool. That's right. Fred Durst is playing chess while the rest of us were playing checkers. That's exactly what it is. They're honestly all smart, played the game exceptionally well, 4D chess, so that's what I think. Legit, I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm not joking. Like, legitimately, I think that's exactly what it is. I think that Fred and the rest of the band played the role of being the person that people wanted him to be, just like Paris Hilton, and he rode that fucking wave all the way to the bank. So I say respect. I'd like to give Fred Durst a fist bump and a blow up. A fist bump and a blow up through the internet. I'd like to say Fred Durst, cool beans. I want to be the embarrassing guy from The Office that says cool beans about everything. Now, let's do something a little bit different, though. How about this? Where do we think that Weezer belongs? I think it's pretty interesting. Weezer's an interesting example of this. Weezer's music is deliberately dumb, I would say, right? Like, other than Pinkerton, which is sort of like, you know, become a nerd anthem, even though, you know, Rivers himself like talked shit about that album many times. Like, Weezer's always been sort of like deliberately just kind of like straightforward like pop music. Like, that's all he wants. Yeah, wee I'm Buddy Holly. Yeah, exactly. Like, Weezer was always intended to be like Beach Boys, like straightforward pop music. He was never trying to like say anything deep other than, again, Pinkerton. Perhaps on that one he was maybe trying to do something a little bit more like artsy or whatever. But it's an interesting thing of like, their music is deliberately dumb, and yet their fans, because their fans are all sort of these like, I don't want to be rude. Is there any other word for Weezer fans other than like pretentious incels? I mean, that sounds so harsh, but pretentious incels, I think, is the only kind of appropriate description for Weezer fans. Nerds, yeah. They're sort of the opposite of Tool fans. Like, Tool fans are sort of like the GED, like burnout loser type guys that think they're smart. Weezer fans are the type of people that probably have like 3 graduate degrees and yet somehow still they don't make any fucking money. You've got a fucking master's degree in 3 different things and yet somehow, you know, you're still a barista. You know, are they really that smart? I don't know. I don't know how smart they actually are, but certainly very educated. So I'm putting them on the bottom right. I'm going to say dumb music, smart fans. That's where I would put Weezer. Yeah, educated but not smart. I think that's a good way to put it. I would like to know what Rivers would think of this. I would like to think Rivers would approve, but who knows? Who knows? I feel like I could be friends with Rivers. I think he's highly misunderstood. That's what I think. I like him. And I like Weezer. Now, in my opinion, the real masters of gent, your friends in Periphery. Now, I've made fun of gent fans many times, and I will continue to make fun of gent fans many times. But you know what? you can't say they're dumb. Go to a Periphery show. You're going to find a lot of people there who are like scientists and engineers. People have like real master's degrees, not like master's degrees in like fucking medieval literature or whatever bullshit. This is going to be like, you know, you'll meet people at a Periphery show. It's like, oh yeah, I went to Stanford for undergrad and then I got a master's in electrical engineering and a master's in software engineering at MIT. And now I'm a distinguished engineer at Amazon. That's the kind of people that you're going to meet at a Periphery show. Yeah, astrophysicists and nuclear chemists listen to Periphery. Yes, Periphery fans aren't dumb. They're just socially challenged. That's for sure. But they're not dumb. And neither are the guys in the band. They're very sharp dudes, very sharp guys. I would say sophisticated music. Yeah, can't believe I'm the dumbest person at a Periphery show. Very likely that you are the dumbest person at a Periphery show. Very likely. Social skills, not necessarily their strong point. I'll give you an example of this. I've been friends with the guys in Periphery for a long time. And I remember going to see them a few years ago at the Showbox here in Seattle. And I was talking to Matt outside the venue, and some guy comes up to him and he's like, hey, are you Matt Halper? And he's like, yeah, man, how's it going? Nice to meet you. He's like, oh, I can't believe I'm meeting you right now. Like, I'm so hard right now. Like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. My dick is so hard. I'm like, I don't know what possessed you to do this, but okay. And so the guy left and Matt was just like, oh my God, dude, people do this all the time. Why do they always talk to us about their dicks? And if you look at like the comments on Misha's Instagram, she'll post some guitar that he got and people are like, dude, I'm so hard. Like, I just came all over my phone looking at your new guitar. Like, what? What is with Periphery fans talking about their dicks? I don't know. It's weird as fuck, but nonetheless, I'm going to put them on the upper right. Smart music, smart fans. I'm a big fan of Periphery. And you know what? Their fans are weird as fuck, but I like them anyway. I'm a fan of Periphery fans. That's what I think. We need something on the lower left. It feels like this is too easy, and it feels rude, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll tell you who goes on the lower left. Dumb music with dumb fans. It's a pretty easy one, actually. It is Cannibal Corpse. I'm sorry. It's Cannibal Corpse. Here's the thing. If you go to a Cannibal Corpse show, not going to meet a lot of people with electrical engineering degrees from MIT. Let's put it that way. I always make fun of those like unbranded, like black shoes that you wear if you work for McDonald's, shoes for crews, you know, I always make fun of those as being like the default death metal shoe. And I used to think that people wore those just because, like, I don't know, they wanted like cheap black tennis shoes or something like that. I used to think that that's why they would wear those shoes for crews, you know, with their cargo shorts. And then I realized, no. They're not wearing these shoes because they think they look cool. They're wearing them because they literally work at McDonald's. They work at McDonald's and they just like shambled over there after their shift to go see Cannibal Corpse. And as far as the music goes, I mean, listen, I think Cannibal Corpse is a cool band, but how many songs about like killing people are they going to write? It's like every song is like, this song's about killing somebody with a hammer. It's called I Killed You with a Hammer. Not exactly intellectual giants. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Respect Cannibal Corpse. I think they're a solid band. But if you're trying to meet some smart people, probably recruiting for Mensa, you know, Cannibal Corpse show, not the place to do it. Another interesting example, I would say, Bloodhound Gang. Bloodhound Gang is an interesting one. And this logo right here kind of tells you everything you need to know about Bloodhound Gang. Absolutely brilliant logo here. So logo is a dog pooping, and the poops are the O's in Bloodhound. I think Bloodhound Gang is actually, it's a little bit different than what you would think. You know, you think of Bloodhound Gang, you might think that there may be like dumb music for dumb people. I agree with Machine Gun Philly here. Bloodhound Gang is smart music for smart people, is genius level Mozart music. I actually agree with that. I think Bloodhound Gang is like legitimately super, super clever. I think, you know, Jimmy Pop, not necessarily the most musically talented person in the world, but like genuinely a comedic genius, a really good hook writer. Like, he's fucking hilarious. Genuinely. He's absolutely hilarious. Their lyrics are really clever. And it's a good example of one of my favorite type of humor is like very smart people pretending to be complete imbeciles. So that's what I think about Bloodhound Gang. You know, sure, there's probably a few like idiots that just like them because their songs are about boobies. Yeah, it's 4chan the band, exactly. 4chan is basically the most clever place on the internet. It's also one of the most like awful, toxic, horrible places on the internet. But, you know, 4chan and Bloodhound Gang are a good example of like really smart people pretending to be complete imbeciles because it's funny. And I think their fans are in on it. So surprisingly, I will put them here on the upper right. Now, a different kind of smart than Periphery. I'm going to say Bloodhound Gang fans, unlikely to be software engineers, but I think they're smart in their own way. So I'm going to put them on the upper right. Here's one that is going to surprise you, okay? This is going to surprise you. A lot of people want to dunk on this band. A lot of people would say this is dumb music for dumb people, but I'm not so sure. I think I disagree. We're talking about Five Finger Death Punch, okay? Five Finger Death Punch, where do they go? You want to say that it's dumb music for dumb people. I'm not so sure I agree with that, and I'll give you the case here. I'll make my case. Ask yourself this. The typical Five Finger Death Punch fan, who are they? Probably like a blue-collar dude, you know, with a family, drives a big truck, lives in the suburbs. You know, he just wants to go see Five Finger Death Punch to blow off some steam. Probably has like 3 or 4 kids or something like that. They're Chads and they're Chads and they're slaying. Exactly. Probably like, I don't know, runs a construction company or something like that and provides for his family. Cops with a restraining order from their ex-wife. Perhaps. I'm going to say this is like, you might think of Five Finger Death Punch fans as sort of dummies because they don't fit the mold of what you think of as a smart person. But let me ask you this. Who do you think is happier? Your average, I don't know, Dance Gavin Dance fan, or your average Weezer fan or Radiohead fan that is all up in their own head all the time, the type of person that like apologizes to a black person for existing because they feel like they're responsible for slavery, you know, even though their family is from Norway and came over here like in the 1970s or something like that. Exactly. They're smart because they're winning. They're playing the game of life perfectly. That's exactly what it is. Those are separate pillars. Happiness doesn't always come from wisdom. Well, let me ask you this. If these Radiohead and Weezer fans are so smart, why are they miserable? That's my question. Why are they so miserable, huh? If you're so smart, how come you can't hold down a relationship? How come you're too afraid to have children, and so you become the indie cat mom that plays Cards Against Humanity with your other fucking perpetually single cat mom friends, huh? That's my question. So Five Finger Death Punch fans, I think perhaps they might be a little bit smarter than we give them some credit for. Is the music smart? I would say probably not. My favorite example of Five Finger Death Punch lyrics, they have a song called Got Your Six. And so for anybody who doesn't know, Got Your Six means I will watch your back. And one of the lines in it is, up on the front lines, that's where you'll find me, because I got your six. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you said you had my six, but now you're up on the front lines. Now someone's going to shoot me in the goddamn back because you just ran up to the fucking front because you're so eager to go shoot people. Now someone's going to shoot me on the back. Thanks for nothing, Ivan. But that's what I think. I think Five Finger Death Punch fans, a little bit smarter than we give them credit for. The music, perhaps not, but I'm a fan. I'm a Death Punch supporter. That's what I am. Call me a knucklehead. How about this? Do you guys know Young Lean, the internet rapper, one of the founders of internet rap? Are you guys familiar with him? Another good example of someone sort of playing the role of an idiot, but actually a very intelligent person. I think that's what Young Lean is. I'm a fan of this type of person. It's too advanced. It is. It's too advanced. That's what I think. But I want to give a little bit of credit to Young Lean for pioneering so much of what we think of as internet rap way back in like 2013. Shit he was doing in 2013, still ahead of the curve. Problem is that with Young Lean fans, Young Lean himself and Young Lean fans in general, I would say maybe a little bit too smart for their own good. It's sort of like, it's an unfortunate fact that when you're really smart, sometimes life is more difficult because, you know, you think too much about things that other people maybe just don't ever even consider. So you get up in your own head a little bit and you sort of, it would actually make you a happier person to try to kind of be a little bit dumber, which in all seriousness, I think is probably why a lot of these people do drugs, is just to like make their brain shut the fuck up for a little bit, because when your brain will not chill, it makes it a little bit harder to be happy in life sometimes. Now on the bottom left, we got to fill this one up a little bit so it's not just lonely old Cannibal Corpse over there. Perhaps the most clear example ever of dumb music for dumb people. I can't think of a more clear example than this, which is Cottonmouth Kings. Cottonmouth Kings, definitely dumb music for dumb people. But I gotta say, I still respect it, because as much as I have made fun of Cottonmouth Kings for being like, 40-year-olds who still like smoke weed basically as a lifestyle, like they smoke weed the way you and I like drink water. They're like high 24/7, and they have been for like 30 years straight. There's something I still respect about it. For one, because all their videos, they've always got those like Fox Racing girls, the Y2K baddies, the Fox Racing girls in their videos. And I gotta say, if I had the choice between, getting a double master's degree in mechanical engineering and software engineering from MIT, if I could choose that on the one hand, if that was, the blue pill, or I guess that would be maybe the red pill. And then the blue pill would be hanging out all day with like Y2K baddies who were strippers in Fox Racing shirts. Well, I think that we know which one we would choose, right? What man in his right mind would choose the double master's degrees when he had the choice of hanging out with Fox Racing baddies all day? That's my question. So if you're so smart, where's your Fox Racing girl, huh? Where's your Y2K baddie if you're so smart? That's my question. So there it is. The dumbass music compass is complete for today. There it is. There it is, people. Remember, all jokes, all in good fun here, people. So if your butt is feeling a little bit sensitive, please apply some of Daddy Finn's butt balm. I just can't believe I'm eating it. My dick is so hard.